Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going out in space. We're going to be on the USS Enterprise trying to be on a 5-year mission. Today we're looking at Star Trek, the 5-year mission. From Mayfair Games. This is a cooperative game. It says 3 to 7 players, a little more on that later. It's a cooperative dice rolling game. We're going to be pulling together dice and trying to keep alerts down and damage down on the ship. Let me show you how it's played. In this game, you can decide whether to play with the original series Star Trek or the next generation Star Trek. And depending on which ship you choose, and for the dice pool, you also get to pick your your characters with the special abilities from either the original series or the next generation. Now, whichever side you choose, for the beginner game, essentially if there's like 3 players, you would take 1, 2, and 3. If there were 5 players, you would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then after you've played a few times, you can mix and match the different numbers and rolls of which ones you'd like. So I chose the original series here, and with 3 or 4 players, the dice pool starts with 1 of each color, and this is the damage that the ship takes. If at any time the damage goes all the way up and you take another damage, you have lost the game. Also, there's 3 decks of alerts. So we've got blue, yellow, and red alerts. Now the yellow and red decks are set up specifically for this series. Now if you were playing the other series, there would be different decks. So you see there's a little bit of setup of splitting up stuff there. And there's going to be alerts coming out. Let me show you this. So the first thing you do on your turn is you pull down any alert that you want. Let's say I pull up a blue alert. So here I would take this down and I'd put it like this. Ooh, Enterprise takes 1 damage. Use only red dice this turn. So this would get 1 thing of damage. Now, here we would have to roll a red 4 or higher to get this to go back to here. And what the significance of this is, right now we can still draw blue, yellow, or red alerts. If this moves to here, the only alerts you can draw are red. Once here, the only alerts you can draw, here is yellow and red. And the only alerts here you could draw is red. So the more damage the plane gets, the harder alerts are the ones you're going to be forced to do. So there's that. Now my first turn I'm going to start with 5 dice. 2 blue, 2 red, and a yellow. My special ability here for Captain Kirk is 1 time on your turn I can reroll all dice of a single color. Now that event said I can only roll red this turn. So I've got 2 reds. Do this, I have a 5 and a 1. I cannot re-roll it unless a card or a special ability allows you to do so. So these are my actions right now. I have a 5 and a 1. Well, I don't have a 6, otherwise I could have completed this card, but I do have a 5. I can use this as a 4 or higher. This goes to the dice pool, and we brought the damage down. Cool, so we've rolled the dice, we've placed it, and I've ended my turn. It's the next player's turn. First thing they do is draw a new alert. Maybe they go for a yellow one, just for the heck of it. And we look at this. Oh man, Enterprise takes another damage. So the one we just fixed, it just went back up. This one needs a red 3, a red 4, and a any color 5. So I got this. I'm gonna roll the dice. I got a 5, a 4, and a 3. Well, let's see. I cannot fix this one there. But what I could do is I could place this 5, and I could place this 4, and just be done. And this would just kind of sit in this box here, and I could be done right now. Then it'd be the next player's turn. So let's say it's the first player's turn. We fast forward here a little bit. And they choose a red alert. You see this yellow icon here. This means that if we finish this card, that's 1 point. None of these other cards are going to give us points, but they can make us fail. If at any time there's 3 of these cards out, right now there's 2, if there was a third one, and then we had to draw another alert of that color without fixing any of these other 3, this one would go away, these would all go up, and this would be a failed card that would go over here. 5 failed cards, and you lose the game. So either 5 failed cards or going off the meter of the Enterprise, you lose the game. And you win the game by either getting up from 10 all the way to 20 of those points. Remember, points is when you finish a card that has a point on it. Depending on the difficulty you want to set, anywhere from 10 to 20, and needing anywhere from 1 of each alert color finished to 2 alert of each color finished. So let's say it's been a few turns, it's my first player's turn back here again, and let's say he got injured at one point. Sometimes you'll get injured, the dice goes there. Now, you can't use this, but I still can only get 5. I've pulled the card out, which is the first thing you do on your turn, and I gotta get up to 5 dice. I have 4 total between injuries and actions. I gotta pull one more. So I'll pull a red one from the dice pool, and now I'll roll that die that I took from the dice pool, and any of the ones that I want to roll from the action. So I've got 3 ones there. Ooh, this one needs a blue 1, a blue 2, and a 3, red or higher, and it's a point. So maybe I'll just keep that blue 1 right now. So I'll keep that blue 1. I'll re-roll these ones, and I've got a 1, 5, 5, 1. Well, this is cool. I'll put the blue 1 there. This one has to be a yellow 5 or higher. I can finish that one. And that's about all I can do. I could put the red 1 here, but maybe I don't want to. Maybe I want to save this one. Yeah, you know, I'll leave it there. Now, when this one finishes, I get to keep this card, and later on, I get to heal somebody. So typically, that's how a turn works. You're essentially drawing an alert. You're doing any action on the alert. You're replenishing your dice. You're rolling your dice, and you're assigning your dice. That's pretty much the entire game. Let's show you what some of these other cards do. Some of them have things that get done right away. For example, this was a yellow alert. If it's drawn and shows this, then immediately a red alert is going to have to get pulled. So sometimes a bunch of alerts chain in reaction with each other. Once I complete this one, now this one would obviously need a 4 or higher yellow and a 4 red. Once you complete them, the dice you take from this go to that dice pool where the ship is, and if it's nothing, it just kind of gets discarded above the alert pool or the alert cards. If it's a point, it will go into the point thing. This, once I finish this, I keep it in front of me, and at any time during the game, I can discard this to add 1 pip to any die. This one makes you add a timer, and it means that you have to finish this card before this timer finishes. If not, it fails. So you got to do this really fast. Oh, and it's worth a point. That's what the timer does. This one again, ooh, you need a red alert. This one, you can change any 1 die to any face. Now, this one right here is interesting. Any card that has that is a prime directive. This means that this can be the only card that is finished next. Nothing else can finish except this. Once you finish it, you would then put it in your pile, and later on you could use this and discard it to make any die 1 face. And the last special ability is if you finish this card, you would put it in front of you, and these ones that have 2 of them together means that you have to put those dice at the same time as each other. So for example, if I rolled a 2 and a 3, I could put those there together. I have to. I couldn't just put the 2 or the 3 when they're in boxes. You got to put them both together. And if I got a yellow 2 or higher, I'd finish it. Now I put it in front of me, and at any time I can use this card up and use anybody else's special ability, and then it becomes a point. Now let's talk about those special abilities. So we looked at his. One time you can re-roll all the dice with a single color. Him, when he resolves something, he can take the die on there and put it onto some other card if he wants to. This guy, if he rolls like a 5 blue, he can use this 5 blue to heal up to 5 of another player. One time you can use 1 blue dice or 1 yellow as a red die icon. You can give or receive 1 die from another crew member. You can discard the event card and draw a card from the same one. So if you draw a card you don't like it, you can get a different one. One time on your turn, you can move 1 die from 1 event card to another. So you're looking at these dice here. I had a 6 on there, and I can move it to somewhere else. And the other ones I won't show you. You can buy the game to look at those. And here again, once either this goes off the map of damage, you lose. If you have 5 failed events, you lose. Or you get to the amount of points that you have agreed upon at the beginning of the game. And that's how you play Star Trek 5-Year Mission. All right, there's Star Trek 5-Year Mission. Let me start off by saying I'm not a big Star Trek fan, so the theme itself to me doesn't appeal to me. Now, this theme itself is such a strong theme and license out there that I'm sure that many people will buy the game just because of the theme. Now, I will say that many times if you go to like a mass market store and you're buying the latest Monopoly or Scrabble or Stratego or something like that that has a new theme on it, typically those games are not very good normally. So it's good to see that a themed version of a game that comes out is a decent game. And I think it's a decent game. It did not blow me away. Essentially, it's very similar to a game out there called Roll For It, which is from Calliope Games. It's sort of an individual effort game where you're rolling dice and you're putting them to the cards, and once they're on the cards, you don't get them back, and you gotta decide what to go for. This essentially is Roll For It, the co-op game with some special abilities. I mean, that's really all this is. It's a very light game. So go into it knowing that this is a light game. If you're a heavy gamer and expecting some heavy thing, this is not it. Really light dice rolling game. Now, I like how you can ratchet up and down the difficulties between super easy to super hard, right? It is about 45 minutes. It's probably about accurate for this. Now, it says 3 to 7 players, and I can't figure out for the life of me. Almost all co-op games say 1 to something players, because you can almost always play a co-op game solo. I don't get why you can't play this game with 1 or 2 players. Easily just take for 1 or 2 players, take 3 rolls, the 1, 2, and 3 of either side, and play that. I don't see why you can't play this. So if you're looking at this going, oh, well, I always play 2-player, or I like to do solo co-op games, I don't see any reason why you can't do that here. So think of it as a 1 to 7 co-op game. Now, would you want to play with 7? Probably not, because it's going to be a long time before you get to roll again. Sure, you can help people see what they might want to do, and it's okay, but it's more fun actually rolling and doing what you want to do anyway. So it was an okay game. It didn't blow me away. I'd say it's average at best for me. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. I mean, some of the decisions are good. You're rolling dice. You're trying to figure out which dice to grab from the pool, which ones are out there, mixing that with special abilities, which are, hey, I can re-roll dice, or I can reallocate dice after I finish something, managing the ship defense, knowing when to use those special cards to change pips, things like that. So it's light, and there's some good decision making there. Just don't expect some big, heavy, huge game here. So if you're looking for a light roll game where you're rolling dice together as a co-op and you like the theme, then this might be for you. If you don't care about Star Trek, the game didn't really separate itself from the pack, in my opinion, from many of the co-op games that are there. If you do like the license and you're looking for something, you'll probably like it obviously a lot more than someone who doesn't care about Star Trek. The one person I did play this with that loved Star Trek loved the game, right? They liked the game the best. So if you're inclined to like the license, you'll probably like the game. If you don't care about the license, there's better ones out there. That's what I think about Star Trek 5-Year Mission.